Greetings everyone, this is SteamTeamRedubUK, CC Trainor-Ling, and I'm back to bring you another episode review from Season 7 of The Loud House. So let's get right into it. Today's episode is Child's Play. In this episode, Luna and the Moon Goat start a children's band to raise money for a new speaker system, and they try to come up with a new song with each new gig. I was originally turned off when I first read the synopsis because the idea sounded contradictory to Luna's attitude in episodes such as House Music and Dad Reputation. Those were instances where she wanted to be taken seriously as a musician and didn't want to associate herself with people and or certain musical style that clashed with her personal preferences. Even Roadie to Nowhere was about her wanting to achieve serious rock and roll fame. But then I remembered something that ended up changing my original perception when writing this review. Mick Swagger mentioned in Really Loud Music that you have to do what you have to do to make it in the music industry because it's a tough business. Between initially preparing to showcase a pop song as a lip-syncing diva known as Lulu and wanting to drop out of the Moon Goats when she was offered the chance to play in an already established group and band together, Child's Play isn't the first time Luna has done some subjectively questionable things in order to achieve her goals in the music world, so starting a kiddie band to raise money for better equipment isn't exactly a deviation away from who she is as a character. It's actually quite consistent with all things considered. In other words, Luna was just doing what she had to do to get by as a musician, and there was absolutely nothing extremely shameful or embarrassing about what she was doing in this episode. Granted, her band wearing those baby hats at the end may have been a little cringy, but everyone was having a good time, and it was technically an homage to the little people who gave them their inspiration. Speaking of which, the songs they performed were some of my favorite parts of the episode. They still stayed true to their original rock and roll style, and they were able to appeal to a younger audience at the same time. They got their inspiration by watching Lily playfully singing about whatever it was she was doing around the house. The multiple scenes with Lily singing, a lot more comprehensibly than I was expecting, were hands down the most adorable parts of the episode. Major props to Grey Griffin right there. So later the band is approached by Catherine Mulligan, who wants them to perform a new children's song on television, but they have to turn to other little kids around the city for inspiration because Luna's parents took Lily to Aunt Ruth's lake house for the weekend. It was actually Ruth's regular house, but that's beside the point. Unfortunately, the band's efforts to come up with a new song by engaging with random kids didn't go according to plan and were about to call it quits, until Sully inadvertently saved the day when he started playing a kazoo like he used to do when he was younger. This is when Luna said songwriting is about tapping into personal experiences, and the band decided to start acting like little kids in order to get a spark of inspiration. While I will admit the montage of Luna and her friends playing in the park was kinda cute in its own nostalgic sort of way, it just seemed, I don't know, a little forceful of them to come to this conclusion by this point in the story. If tapping into personal experiences is how music is created, then it seemed rather convenient for Luna and her friends to have forgotten that very important aspect when they were first trying to come up with new material. Maybe because it was the first time they had to come up with songs outside their regular grown-up style that they didn't remember to reflect upon childhood experiences? It's anyone's guess. Either way, I still understood what they were going for, so I'm not extremely negative on how they managed to resolve their problem. They were able to not only get some great publicity on TV by performing an awesome song, but they could finally afford to buy their new speaker system and then test it out on the target audience that helped them reach their goal. The last thing I want to talk about would be the main characters, which would be the Moon Goats. I really liked how they were given more screen time compared to all their previous appearances. Seriously, I think this is the first episode where Mazzy and Sully did more than just offer less than a total of 10 lines of dialogue between them, and then simply stand silently in the background for the remainder of the story. They got to do a whole lot more this time, especially Sully with a few funny moments of his own, and I think the superb singing from both Luna and Sam should go without saying. The only character I couldn't stand, to the surprise of no one, was Mr. Coconuts. While I give credit to Luann for being the one who was able to arrange a few gigs for the Moon Goats, the use of her puppet was, as it is in most cases, very unnecessary and downright annoying. I mean, did she really need to use Mr. Coconuts when opening her secret vault, let alone having him bathe in all that money? Sam asks, "Isn't Luann Mr. Coconuts?" And Luna replies by saying she just stopped asking. I've already listed my complaints about the Luann and Mr. Coconuts dynamic in past videos, so I won't mention them again here. However, the most I'm going to say is this was another example of an important lesson worth noting. If you know the story doesn't need a certain character to help advance the plot, then you don't need to put them in the story. Luann was more than capable of handling her 2 scenes by herself, but no, somehow the puppet had to be there for comedy. Again, if a character like him doesn't serve a significant purpose, then don't waste time on him. It's as simple as that. Overall, even though I had my doubts in the beginning, this turned out to be a really good episode for Luna and the ever-developing musical side of her character. It was also a really good episode for the Moon Goats, with them finally getting more of a spotlight with a story focused exclusively on them. The songs were great, Lily was adorable, the montage at the park had a nice feel to it, and the band was able to raise the money they needed. So despite my little nitpicks and negatives, this is an early contender for a top 5 spot for Season 7 at the time of this recording. With that said, I give Child's Play a 9.2 out of 10. Well folks, that concludes my review of Child's Play. So I gotta ask, what did you guys think of this episode? Sound off in the comments below, and be sure to click that subscribe button for more Loud House related content. That's going to do it for me. I'll catch you guys for the next video, but until then, this is SteamTeamRedubUK, CC Trainor-Ling, signing off. Peace out, home slices.